Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're tackling something that affects millions of us, but honestly, it's super misunderstood. I'm talking about belly fat. Now, it is really easy to just look at belly fat as a cosmetic issue, right? Just something that kind of bothers us when we look in the mirror. But the research tells a completely different story. Carrying excess weight around your midsection is actually a critical health concern. So today, we're going to break down the science and, more importantly, give you a highly structured, actionable guide to actually reducing it. We're pulling all of our insights today from a really fantastic medical guide provided by the Maimon Medical Institute, so you know you're getting grounded, expert-backed information. Grab a notebook because you are definitely going to want to remember this. To really wrap our heads around the scale of this issue, let's look at some frankly staggering statistics from the World Health Organization regarding Pakistan, which is a prime example of this growing global crisis. Currently, 1 in 4 people there is dealing with obesity. But what's really interesting here is the stark contrast between men and women. Look at that. 45% of women are facing this challenge compared to 30% of men. So why the massive gap? Well, the source material points out that women often face higher rates due to natural hormonal changes, post-pregnancy weight retention, and domestic routines that severely limit their time for physical exercise. For men, on the other hand, the struggle is predominantly linked to poor dietary choices and an overall lack of physical activity. It's definitely a complex picture, but understanding exactly why it happens is the very first step to fixing it.
All right, so here is our agenda for today. 1. The obesity crisis. 2. The dangers of belly fat. 3. Essential diet fixes. 4. A daily belly fat exercise routine. And 5. Effective home remedies. Let's dive right in.
Starting with part 1, the obesity crisis. In urban centers, specifically, the shift away from active lifestyles has just been incredibly dramatic. We're basically looking at a perfect storm here. You have a severe lack of physical activity combined with an absolute explosion in fast food consumption, which is, of course, loaded with fats and hidden sugars. Add to that our technology-driven sedentary habits. We're sitting at desks all day, looking at phones, binging shows. We are simply not moving. But the source also highlights 2 massive and honestly often ignored factors: high mental stress and a lack of proper sleep. Both of these things actually trigger your body to store more fat. So it's not just about what you eat, it's entirely about how you live. Moving right along to part 2, dangers of belly fat. Here is the crucial point you have to understand. Not all fat is created equal. The fat that sits right around your stomach, what's often called visceral fat, is incredibly dangerous. This is not just about fitting into your favorite jeans. Carrying excess weight right there actively invites severe diseases into your body. We're talking about significantly increased risks of diabetes, high blood pressure, and severe heart disease. And on top of that, the sheer physical weight leads to chronic joint pain and breathing difficulties. Untreated belly fat is literally a medical red flag. Reducing it isn't about vanity, it is an absolute necessity for your survival and long-term disease prevention. Which brings us to part 3, essential diet fixes. Transforming your eating habits doesn't mean you have to walk around starving all day. It just means eating smarter. Step 1 is prioritizing a balanced intake of proteins, fresh vegetables, and fiber-rich lentils. These keep you full and give you actual usable energy. Step 2 is where a lot of people struggle, but it's totally non-negotiable. You have to avoid white flour and sugar completely. Those ingredients just spike your blood sugar and tell your body to store belly fat right away. Instead, just reach for natural, whole foods. Step 3 is super simple but highly effective. Drink 8 to 10 glasses of water every single day. Why? Because proper hydration dramatically boosts your metabolism and actively flushes harmful toxins right out of your system. Now, I really want to put a massive spotlight on this golden rule straight from our source material. Eat your last meal at least 3 hours before bed. Listen, when you eat a really heavy meal and then immediately go to sleep, your body's metabolism naturally slows way down. And those excess calories, they're rapidly stored directly as fat, mostly right around your belly. Giving your body a full 3 hours to digest while you're still awake and mildly active is a total game changer for weight loss. All right, let's get into the core of our plan with part 4, daily belly fat exercise routine. When it comes to a structured weekly schedule, I want you to notice how wonderfully simple this is. From Monday all the way through Sunday, the foundational activity is exactly the same: 30 minutes of fast-paced walking or jogging. The source material really stresses that you do not need some complicated, expensive gym routine to start melting fat. Dedicating just half an hour every single day to brisk walking, gets your heart rate up, kickstarts your cardiovascular system, and serves as the absolute most effective foundational step for weight reduction. Consistency here is totally your best friend. Now, to specifically target the stomach area, we're going to need to introduce crunches. Let's break down the proper form based exactly on the text because form is everything. You need to lie flat on your back, keep your knees bent, place your hands lightly behind your head, and gently lift your upper body using your stomach muscles. Do not pull on your neck. Now, what's really interesting here is the frequency. Doing this correctly just 15 to 20 times a day is completely enough to actively engage those core muscles and help melt that targeted belly fat over time. Next up in our daily routine is the plank. If you want a full core workout, this is absolutely it. The proper form here is crucial. You must hold your body in a rigid, perfectly straight line, supported entirely by your forearms and your toes. Don't let those hips sag, and don't push them up in the air either. The source points out that holding this straight line form is incredibly powerful because it doesn't just work the stomach, it simultaneously strengthens your back and your arms. It's just a phenomenal multitasking exercise. And hey, let's not overlook this fantastic addition mentioned in the text: yoga. Remember earlier when we talked about how stress actually causes weight gain? Well, yoga perfectly combines the physical movement required for weight loss with the essential mental piece you need to combat that stress. By lowering your overall tension levels, you naturally lower your cortisol, which stops you from stress eating and storing all that excess belly fat. It's a really beautiful 2-for-1 solution. Finally, wrapping things up with part 5, effective home remedies. The source actually highlights some really simple kitchen ingredients that can naturally accelerate your fat loss. First, try squeezing a lemon into some warm water first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. It is a fantastic metabolic booster. Second, try to incorporate ginger tea into your day. Ginger naturally improves digestion and keeps your internal engine running hot. And finally, a mixture of honey and cinnamon in warm water is super renowned in traditional practices for targeting stomach fat. Now, these aren't magic potions, obviously, but they are brilliant, completely natural ways to keep your metabolism elevated throughout the day. To tie this whole shebang together, we have to look at your overarching lifestyle habits. Because honestly, you cannot out-exercise a bad lifestyle. You must prioritize getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every single night. You have to actively work to radically reduce your stress. And here's a really great practical tip. Instead of starving yourself or eating massive, heavy plates of food, try eating 5 to 6 small meals daily. This keeps your metabolism constantly working without totally overloading it. But most importantly, you must make these changes permanent. Which brings us to this incredibly empowering question for you. Are you ready to make these healthy habits a permanent part of your life? The absolute truth about weight loss, as clearly outlined in our source material, is that it's not a magic trick. There is absolutely no overnight fix. It's a continuous, dedicated journey of making the right choices, drinking the water, taking that 30-minute walk, getting enough sleep every single day. Finally, while this explainer provides a really fantastic foundational guide, it's vital to remember that everyone's body is entirely unique. For personalized medical treatments, specific diet plans, or if you're dealing with severe obesity, always consult medical experts, just like the specialists at the Mimon Medical Institute who provided the insights for today's topic. You have the knowledge now, and you have the structured plan. So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought to carry with you today. What is the very first habit you're going to change right now, today, to reclaim your health and start your journey?